All right, Rob, I think we're live. Anyone
Okay,
who's
yeah.
watching this, we've failed about 20 times trying to get this going, so hopefully this works.
Right, right. Absolutely. Patience is the key, that's all.
All right, so Rob, yeah, whatever questions you have for me about Facebook, go ahead and I'll
Okay.
do whatever I
Um,
can.
yeah, man, just I guess the significance of even having a Facebook page, some DTs will wonder, what's the significance for even, creating a Facebook fan page.
Well, if you get away from just the fan page and just talk about Facebook marketing, anything that you
Okay.
do, trying to get leads, distributors, whatever it is,
Right.
Denise and I, pretty much since the day we started, have been doing advertising on Google and Facebook, and now back to Google, and almost solely for the past 3 years during all of our biggest growth is when we were doing our most amount of advertising on Facebook. So
Wow.
there's definitely power to it, and we don't do much else besides that. We don't do a
Mhm.
whole lot of warm market blitzing. We don't do a lot of, cold calls or, I mean, we don't do much else parties outside of online marketing and especially Facebook. So
Right.
there's definitely a lot of value there, but it can be tricky to keep up with. There's so much out there on, that changes
Right. Right.
almost daily.
Right. And I guess, so let's say once you do create a fan page, I mean, because that part's really simple, uh,
Hmm.
we can show them that, with our eyes closed, how to create a fan page. But once you have that fan page created, you know, what are some of the best, ways to market and to draw in that active fan base? We don't want just a bunch of numbers up on the page. We want active fans, active people who click that like button or who comment and want to know more or engage. I guess the word is that I'm looking for.
Right. Um, Unfortunately, getting the fans and especially getting engaged fans that aren't distributors is the tricky part.
Right.
And for the most part, I think you either have to specifically target people that you want to find, run an ad, and then likely give them something of value, whatever your content is, in order to get them to be an engaged fan.
Right.
Um, or you have to have some viral content that makes them think that you're going to have more of it, and they really, they like who you are and who your brand is, and then they like your page from there. So
Right.
uh, we have some highly active pages, but a
Okay.
lot of them are It Works distributors,
Okay.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it gets you exposure, and then you can get out to other people.
Right.
Um, but but yeah, it's not that easy to get a huge fan page going, or else I think everybody would be doing it. A lot of people have 10,000 fans, but like you said, they're not very active. Um,
Right.
what we try to do outside of that is we try to run ads directly to people and get them to a capture page,
Right.
or get them just to enter their information right in a comment thread, and
Okay.
then we follow up from there.
So I guess let's run through it. A dry run of just like as if you were to run through on the screen and create an ad from scratch right now. What are some key things
Okay.
you would be doing to make sure you get your money's worth?
Okay. Here, let me show you. Well, I'll show you kind of the simple way, and make sure
Okay.
that if you had a question, just jump in, so because I
Okay.
tend to forget. But
Okay.
okay, so if I were to create an ad, I'd go up here to create an ad. See, this is the thing. This interface has changed recently, like
Okay.
within the past couple weeks. I always use the Power Editor, which is
Okay.
a little bit more advanced.
Mhm.
Gives you a few more options, but I can try and show you something here anyway.
Yeah, Facebook, they change things up and you won't even know until you go to actually do it that it's changed.
Right. I've literally seen it change from day to day to day, like every single day. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so let's say it clicks the website. Let's say this is a site that I used to promote a lot about 2 to 3 years ago
Okay.
that I created, rapgirlsparty.com.
Okay.
So we'll hit that. Okay, now they want 6 different image sizes. You can see here that they 600 pixels by 315,
Okay.
and that is good to go by because you want everything to be able to show up in the news feed. The news
Right.
feed is, your regular stories, and that's where you get the most interaction from fans and strangers, whatever it is.
Right.
Um, okay, so let's say I don't have a picture really ready to use, but the pictures can't have much text on them. So what you likely want to use is, and what's worked the best for me over the years is almost across the board is using an up-close picture of a girl's face or a
Okay.
girl's chest and up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just what works for girls, for guys, for everything.
Okay.
So I would try to find a picture, like most likely of yourself, and use that for the picture.
Okay.
And you don't want something that looks professional. The more professional it looks, the more people think it looks like an advertisement. So you don't really
Right.
want something that, is going to blend in. You want something that's going to stand out. You can throw borders on it. You can do a filter. You can even write with Microsoft Paint or something on there, some words if
Right.
you want. But the key is just to make it stand out.
Okay.
Um, and you're going to choose your Facebook ad or page.
Now that URL you had typed in initially,
hmm
is that something, a person would have to have a domain name to use this function right here? Because I know there's another section for like page likes and things like that. That Rap Girls Party is that, a domain that you have?
Yeah, this one's a
Okay.
domain. Here, I can open it
Okay.
up for you just to give you a visual. But so this is just a site that we created a long time ago.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you want to do something similar to this where it tells people what's the rap, how do they party, how do they get paid. Something
Okay.
simple and something
Okay.
that in the end is going to capture their information.
Okay.
You always have to be capturing it or else it's kind of pointless.
Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
to do the clicks to website, you have to have an external website. You can't just use a Facebook
Now,
page.
let's say it works distributor takes and purchases a domain which are relatively cheap through GoDaddy,
hmm
and they link that capture to like their it works distributor site on the opportunity page or something like that.
hmm
Because some people just starting out might not be able to go that deep with it yet. So
Right,
would
right.
that still be a good thing to do?
You could do that. There are lots of places where you can make a lead capture page. One of them is called Instapage, I think.
Insta page.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here. But it takes you through step by step. You can put a lead capture little form on there. It's all pretty dummy proof.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find you an example. And I know one of my distributors did this recently.
Okay. Yeah, this is good stuff right here.
Um, hmm. Well, I'll show you exactly. I'll just give you an idea what. So you can make a page like this for
Okay.
Facebook, and I just
Okay.
have a good headline, couple bullets, say what the rap does or how you can make money,
Okay.
and have an opt-in form. And I would recommend doing something like this rather than pointing back to your It Works replicated site.
Okay. Okay. And what does this cost?
I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
I think it's fairly inexpensive though.
Okay.
Try it for free, so yeah, I'm not sure.
They give you probably some trial days to try it out.
Yeah, yeah, I've never done it, but I just heard a lot of good feedback from some of our distributors using it.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you're to start your ad here, if you don't have a fan page to connect it to, it won't let you run in the news feed. And if it's not running in the news feed, you don't really want it, in my opinion.
Pointless.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, Headline, always the same thing. Try to think out of the box. Don't just say like home business opportunity. Say
Right.
like ask them a question. Works well a lot of times.
Right.
Um, Give them a benefit of some kind.
Basically, since we're around, January or something to do with possibly like the new year. Are you ready for a new year and a new
Sure, yeah.
you? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good. And of course, the picture is the most important part. along with the targeting. So you want your ad to relate to whatever you're targeting here too.
Right.
Um, so okay, usually we'll target like 20 years old to 55 years old and women mostly, unless we're running like a male specific ad, which I haven't done, but you could do, I guess.
Okay.
So pick your location, whatever you want here. Um, Interests. We've had a lot of success over the years just by targeting other companies, so like Mary Kay,
Okay. Wow.
um, stuff like that. They got 7 million people. Sometimes it's
Right.
easier. I like to try and keep my interest down to like a couple 100,000 people or less,
Right.
because that way you can make it a lot more specific and it still makes sense. So if you do like, I don't think Arbonne has that much. There you go, Arbonne. Then you could say like, then when you do your headline, you could say tired of something like that, and it would make sense, you know?
Right.
Like that.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty slick.
And
That's
then,
slick right there.
um, and then pretty much you don't need to worry about the rest of this stuff. You can say English and it'll narrow it a little bit,
Right.
even though it's U.S. And you can say in college if you want, which would bring it way down, but the quality of your people obviously might be a little bit better.
Right.
Um, you can ignore the more categories. I've never had any success using any of these custom
Right.
demographics that they give you.
Right.
But what is my favorite way to advertise is to just do mobile only,
Hmm.
which you can't do from here. You have to use the Power Editor, which I could show you in a second.
Okay.
Um, but so let's name this campaign test. Rob, bid for clicks. That's fine.
Okay.
I use this automatically optimized a lot of times because it does a pretty
Okay.
good job. But
Okay.
once you start running your ad for a while and you notice how much
Hmm.
you're spending, you can
Hmm.
set your maximum bid if you know how much you want to be spending.
Okay. Yeah, because
Um,
we've had a lot of distributors use like and you can tell me if what you think about this, the lifetime budget, because it seems to, I guess put their mind at ease more if they set a lifetime budget of like $100 for 30 days per
mhm.
se.
Mhm.
What do you think about, running your ad that way?
Personally, I would rather spend it in a day kind of thing and see
Okay.
how it does. I'd rather do
Okay.
20 bucks in a day so that I can
Yeah.
see if it's working or not rather than waiting
Okay.
around for a month before I get enough people to see it to know if it's going
Got
to
you.
work or not,
Got
you
you.
know,
That makes sense. Yeah.
and then just tweak it from there. Um, so what I like to do here is if you're going to, before you place your order, if you hit review order, oh, whoops, I guess I got to finish this. Whatever. Um, I don't think I need an image.
Right.
Usually want to tell them what to do in your ad too. You want to
Okay.
say click here, then enter your email, and that'll
Okay.
make a big difference in getting approved. You'll likely get Facebook likes when you tell them what to expect, and you
Okay.
also won't get people clicking there who don't mean to or who aren't ready to enter their email, and you don't want them clicking anyway. And then
Right.
also it'll help with your conversions too on the other end because
Okay.
you tell people what to do, they tend to do it.
Okay.
Um, So if you hit this review order button, making me do an image. Okay, hold on. How big's that? That'll work at it. Okay. Okay, when you hit review order, I like to name all my ads. It makes it a lot easier when you're looking over 10 ads to tell which ones are working and for what. So you
Okay.
can say like Arbonne women 22 to 52 or whatever we did here. And then just say place order. Whoops. Doesn't seem like it placed it. Huh, weird.
Yeah.
Um, Alright, let's go back here.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, Well, I'm just gonna assume that it works, I guess.
Right, right, yeah. Okay.
Then I was in Bailey. Hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it created that ad.
Right.
Well, what I wanted to show you is that when you label that one Arbonne, then what I'll
Okay.
do is I'll go in and I'll say create a similar ad.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm in the flow of doing it, I'll go and create like 10 different ads. Um, but for each one, you just want to change like one thing. So,
Change the
in,
company or something.
yeah, exactly. Change
Okay.
the company, and then you
Okay.
can label that one, say Melaleuca, and you'll see a big difference in some companies and some headlines, pictures.
Right.
But the more you test it, you'd be surprised. You might find one that works 5 times better than the other ones, where it could, instead of costing you 50 cents,
Now,
it's
what do you
costing you
think it
10
is?
cents.
What do you think it is that intrigues these people from other companies to, start to investigate and click on these
I
ads?
think a lot of the people that where it says Mary Kay or who Facebook thinks is associated with Mary Kay or Arbonne um, aren't really serious distributors, or they did it 10 years ago, or they clicked on a Mary Kay ad at one
Gotcha.
point. So I think it
Gotcha.
just does a good job of narrowing stuff down, but not necessarily getting them to leave their company or something like that.
Okay. Okay. So, Facebook basically kind of sort of stalks the people who, might have researched that or clicked on that before or been associated with that, basically.
Right, yeah. Facebook
Okay.
knows a ton about everybody. Like you can, if you've never used the graph search, you can say friends of mine who like beer,
Oh, wow.
and it will bring up all your friends who like beer.
Right. Right. That's crazy.
And a lot of
Wow.
it's not just because of this, it's because they just know.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah.
That's public information for you.
Yeah, yep.
um, I guess also we take a look at if someone wants to keep it a little more simple and run just like an ad for page likes and things of that nature,
hmm
where you go to, I think it was a couple choices down there when you want to
Right,
create an ad. Yeah.
yeah. Stuff that I've done in the past that's worked really well for different
Uh,
types, just to give you an idea,
okay.
um, is I'll target um, women who like shoes,
Okay.
or a specific kind of shoe, and then I'll put a picture of that shoe up there, and then I'll
Really?
say like shoes question mark. Click here if you like these shoes, and then it's a lot cheaper to do it that way and get people who like shoes, even if your page isn't necessarily about shoes,
About shoes?
than it is
Really?
to go out and try to find people who just, like your page, skinny
Right.
wrap, independent distributor. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I know Facebook gives you some choices. I know at times I will put in there like lap band, gastric bypass, things like that. You're saying that route would be more expensive.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It just depends. You just really want to get really specific with your stuff, your
Okay.
headline, your image, and who you're targeting.
Okay.
And the more generic it is, the more expensive it's going to be.
Okay.
Um,
So shoot.
uh,
Now, do you think they'll get to the page and get on the page and say, "Hey, this page isn't about shoes"?
well, shoes I use for a shopping page. That was just to
Okay.
give you an example.
Oh,
But
okay. Got you. Got you.
but you could do something different.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
beginning, when I started some of my pages, I shared something that I knew other It Works distributors would like,
Right.
um, and then I used that as my ad to get more likes.
Okay.
Um, just because I think some people disagree with this, but I think it's good to just have a base of distributors because they're active and they share information a lot.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
and if you boost a story, it goes to friends of your fans, and
Yeah.
friends of our fans that are It Works distributors are all
Now,
probably
and
great people.
and no offense, but this is why we tell new distributors starting out, like, don't be always clicking on the top leaders' pages and liking everything because your friends see what you click on, and that's how it's like a chain reaction.
Right,
It
right,
goes through
right,
your friends list. So, you
right,
guys got that down. That's good
right.
info, though.
Right. Well, everybody, yeah, I mean, everybody's a friend of somebody's friend, you know, so you
Yeah,
can't,
yeah,
you can't really worry about it,
right.
um, but if you want, I can show you the Power Editor real quick and just show
Okay,
you, it's really not that hard. It's not too much different. It's just a little bit, it's a little more technical seeming, but it's not really.
right, right.
Oh, I gotta go here first. Actually, let me get out of here. There's too much going on. Okay. Okay, so this is the Power Editor.
Okay.
Um, they show you in here. Basically, this is like, if you think of it as like a version that's stored on your computer, even though it's really not. Well, it might be in
Hmm.
your temporary files. Anyway, think of it like this, and then you can say, every time you use it, you'll say download to Power Editor,
Okay.
and that takes all your ads that are on Facebook and all your page data and all that stuff, and it downloads it to your computer. Just think of
Okay.
it that way.
Okay.
So basically what happens is you'll download all that information, you'll create and edit a bunch of your ads, and then you'll upload them all back up to Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and it's funny, this interface changed from last time I used it, which was probably a couple days ago.
It's that makes it tough sometimes. It gets
Yeah,
confusing at times.
yeah. So I can show you. Um, okay, so let's see. Okay, so we got campaign dashboard. We got all our active campaigns here. On the left, you can see this is a newer campaign, Meet Denise video,
Okay.
which this is what I've had the most success with lately on Facebook, and that's
Okay.
doing a video, uploading it inside the Power Editor, which it doesn't give
Mhm.
you that option, and then on the regular ads, and then running ads on mobile.
Okay. Now, what do you mean by running ads on mobile?
I'll
What does
show you that
that?
here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's create an ad. Let's just call it test one. Objective. Hold on, I can't see everything. Okay, so then you choose your objective here. You can either do clicks to website, which will like format your ad so that when they click on the picture, it goes off to an external website, or you
Right.
could just try to get people to engage on your post. I'm going to do that one this time.
Okay.
So if Facebook page using a post, I would choose. Let me see if I can find one of the video ads. Okay, there's one. So this is an example of what we were doing. Page post engagement. Denise Walsh is her fan page.
Okay.
And then she has a post here. I'll zoom in on it a little bit. Ah, okay, well that's the best I can do. Looking
Okay.
for 12 highly motivated, super fun new women to make a new income from home. Click here to learn more. It takes them to a lead capture page, basically.
Okay.
Extra Christmas cash. And then we just kept running it over and over. You can see 1,200 likes,
Right.
80
Right. Right.
comments, whatever.
And where is this popping up at on Facebook?
See, this is the cool part about doing it back here. If you, um, what you can do is say create new unpublished post.
Okay.
So you can add a video, and I'll click on this. Create new unpublished post. You go over here to video,
Okay.
and you can select a video like that you recorded on your computer, desktop computer.
Okay.
Put the title, whatever, and say create post. And after you do that, um, it becomes a post that's associated with your fan page, and it's advertised to people, but it's not actually on your fan page. Like people will never see
Right.
it unless it shows up in their newsfeed because we targeted to them. So
Okay.
it's called a dark post, which is nice because you don't want to clutter up your fan page with tons of ads that look like
All right.
this, you know, that are
Is
spammy
that
looking.
thing that you see when you're scrolling, like the average Joe is scrolling through their news feed and it says sponsored and it just pops up.
Right, it would look like this. It would be huge and just stand out.
Right.
And it would say sponsored real small underneath.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what in that video is she talking? Is she, what is she doing?
Yeah, let's see, do they still have a link to preview it here? Let me see if I can find, I think I have a bookmark somewhere.
Yeah, that's a nice response in that
Okay, so
campaign.
you'll see. So this is a different one actually. We did a different page and
Right.
whatever. Um, so here's the video. Can you hear that, Rob?
I don't hear anything just yet.
Okay. Well, basically she says, you've probably heard of the rap, but if you haven't, here's what it is. Here's why it's so great. Here's why you need to do it,
Okay.
and then click on the website below to join us kind of thing. It's
Wow.
just 2 minutes long.
That's awesome.
Um, you get people spamming on your stuff.
Yeah. They go ahead and promote their business right under there because they
Right,
see the
yeah.
response that it's getting.
Right, yep. Okay, so let me go back to where I was. Okay, so you can do that. You can create a new post. Ignore that, ignore that. Um, and then you can do newsfeed mobile only. We've had a good response with. It's been a lot cheaper, like 5 times as cheap to run if you just run on mobile only than it has been on desktop and mobile.
Okay.
But when you do that, you have to have a site that's ready for mobile. So your blog, or if you do a lead capture page, a lot of times they have options for it. But
Or
this
if
is
you
one
have
of
a
them.
website, correct?
Right, yeah. Anything you
Okay.
want to send it to. But if you look, the idea is, um, see how this page totally changes as you make it.
Right, right. Because a mobile device is smaller.